I have decided to put the Minister of Police, Mr. Ayanda Mchunu, on leave of absence with immediate effect. The Minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the Commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as Acting Minister of Police. Professor Kachalia is currently a Professor of Law at the University of the Witwatersrand and is the Chairperson of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council. He previously served as an MEC of Community Safety in Gauteng. I'm appointing Professor Kachalia in terms of Section 91(3) subsection C of the Constitution, which empowers the Constitution to select no more than 2 ministers from outside the National Assembly. Professor Kachalia will be retiring from his current position at the University of Witwatersrand at the end of July this year. I will, in the interim, appoint an acting minister from within Cabinet until Professor Kachalia takes up his post at the beginning of August. The interregnum, therefore, will just be a little over 2 weeks. This commission is being established against the backdrop of significant progress that has been made in rebuilding and strengthening our country's law enforcement agencies and security services. In recent years, the South African Police Service, the Special Investigating Unit, the SIU, and the Asset Forfeiture Unit and other bodies have been making great progress and inroads in the fight against organized crime and corruption. It is essential that we maintain this momentum and that we intensify the work that is currently underway. We will ensure that the South African Police Service and other law enforcement agencies continue to function without hindrance as the Commission undertakes its work. I call on all members of our law enforcement agencies, as well as security services, to remain steadfast in upholding the rule of law of our country and adhering to their code of conduct. I therefore call on all South Africans to support the Commission in the work that it is going to do where appropriate, and to provide any information or assistance the Commission may require. In establishing this Commission of Inquiry, we are affirming our commitment to the rule of law, to transparency, and to accountability. And we are also enhancing the work that is underway to build a South Africa in which all our people are safe and secure. I thank you.
Ramaphosa's controversial decision. Mchunu on paid leave explained. Opposition parties have slammed President Cyril Ramaphosa for placing under fire Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on a special leave rather than firing him following explosive allegations leveled against him. This is not good enough, said Good Party Secretary General Brett Herron. The appointment of a commission, while well-intentioned, is too slow, too cumbersome, and too costly. We have walked this road before, most notably with the Zondo Commission, and we have seen that a commission of inquiry cannot replace a criminal investigation, said Herron. He said the Zondo Commission produced volumes of prima facie evidence, which the investigating authorities were then required to investigate before any decision to prosecute could be made. Thus, despite its extensive findings, the pace of implementation has been glacial. South Africans have grown tired of commissions that reveal what we already know, while those implicated continue to operate with impunity. The allegations made by General Mkhwanazi are not vague or speculative. These matters demand urgent and credible criminal investigation, not another year-long process whose outcomes may never be actioned. The Judicial Commission cannot suspend, charge, or arrest anyone. I can only recommend it. And until it does, those implicated remain in place, leaving the system vulnerable and trust further diminished. Only Minister Senzo Mchunu has been placed on special leave, likely earning a ministerial salary for sitting at home, Heron said. In a statement, the EFF said, "This decision is not only illegal, it is also a flagrant abuse of state resources. It allows Senzo Mchunu to continue, drawing a full ministerial salary under the guise of special leave, while the president unlawfully bloats the cabinet by appointing someone not lawfully entitled to serve in that role. The South African people are being forced to fund the lavish lifestyle of a criminal, while he consolidates power and undermines whistleblowers from behind the scenes." The Democratic Alliance DA also criticized Ramaphosa's decision to establish a judicial commission of inquiry, warning that the move may amount to little more than political window dressing, while acknowledging the decision to place the police minister on leave as a necessary step. DA leader John Steenhuisen said South Africans have grown cynical of commissions, task teams, and investigations that buy time while protecting the politically connected. The party vowed to push for rigorous parliamentary oversight and pledged to hold Ramaphosa accountable for any recommendations made by the commission. Steenhuisen insisted that Parliament's constitutional role in overseeing the executive must continue, unabated and undeterred, in addition to calling for decisive follow-through. The DA expressed skepticism over the reshuffling of certain cabinet members. While welcoming the replacement of Minister Senzo Mchunu, the party rejected what it described as an illusion of reform and highlighted the continued presence of ministers such as Nabane and Simlane, who have faced corruption allegations themselves. The president has taken a step, but not the leap that this moment demands, Steenhuisen said. If he truly wants to root out criminal syndicates from the state, he must start with his own cabinet. South Africans deserve action, not more commissions. His comments comes after Ramaphosa, on Sunday night, announced the establishment of a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate serious corruption allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Ayanda Mchunu. Ramaphosa's address, delayed by 30 minutes, came a week after Mchunu publicly accused Police Minister Senzo Mchunu of interfering in criminal investigations and protecting corrupt networks within law enforcement. Ramaphosa appointed Acting Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseli Madlonga to lead the inquiry, assisted by Senior Counsels Sesi Baloyi and Sandile Khumalo. He said the commission will investigate claims that criminal networks have infiltrated law enforcement, intelligence agencies, and other elements of the justice system. Areas of focus include the facilitation of organized crime, manipulation of investigations, and targeting of whistleblowers and officials. Mchunu, during his media briefing last week, presented WhatsApp messages, SAPS documents, and cell phone records that he said demonstrated coordinated efforts to dismantle the KZN task team. He implicated Mchunu's comrade, Brown Mogotsi, in communicating with businessman Vusimuzi Katmatlala, who had received our 360 million SAPS contract that has since been cancelled. According to Mchunu, the disbandment was a calculated move to shield a criminal syndicate embedded in law enforcement and politics. Ramaphosa said the commission will also investigate the possible involvement of current or former senior officials across SAPS. The National Prosecuting Authority, the State Security Agency, the Judiciary, and Metro Police Departments in Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, and Tshwane. The commission will assess the effectiveness of oversight mechanisms and recommend criminal prosecutions, disciplinary actions, and institutional reforms. Ramaphosa said interim reports will be submitted after 3 and 6 months, with a final report due thereafter. Madlonga, who retires from the Constitutional Court at the end of July, will be able to dedicate his full attention to the inquiry, Ramaphosa said. In the interim, Ramaphosa placed Mchunu on a leave of absence and appointed Professor Firoz Kashalia as acting Minister of Police. Kashalia, currently a law professor and chair of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council, will take up the post officially in August. An acting minister from within the cabinet will serve until then. Ramaphosa said the commission is part of broader efforts to rebuild law enforcement and restore public trust. A CTIO and SA expressed concern over Ramaphosa's delayed action following allegations made by Mkhwanazi. While Akshinsa notes that Minister Senzo Mchunu has been placed on a leave of absence, effectively a paid holiday, the president's announcement, which inexplicably required a week of deliberations, raises serious concerns about the lack of urgency in confronting unprecedented allegations of widespread criminal infiltration and corruption at the highest levels of SAPS, including his own Minister of Police, said Akshinsa MP, Darlene James. This was not enough. That's how Build One SA leader Musi Maimane described Ramaphosa's plans to address the matter. We have had enough commissions of inquiry. We are still seeing famous names from the Zondo Commission gallivanting in places of influence and prominence. Some are still doing business with the state. We needed to give the police more ammunition to deal with the issues of the syndicates destroying South Africa with drugs and guns. Bring back the scorpions. I believe that Senzo Mchunu should have been fired, and the other ministers who have lied to Parliament. This was a missed opportunity in that respect, Maimane added. Meanwhile, Rise Mzansi National Assembly Caucus Chief Whip Makashul Gana welcomed the establishment of the commission. We appreciate the scope of the inquiry, which will also look into all spheres of policing, the judiciary, as well as the state's intelligence apparatus. A judicial commission of inquiry is important because the SAPS and the minister cannot investigate themselves. Gana said placing Mchunu on leave is critical and will leave no space for interference. Furthermore, we look forward to working with the incoming police minister, Professor Firoz Kashalia. He is a steady hand with a track record of tackling corruption, Gana said. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks.